Season 5. Right, let's get straight into it. Setting the expectations. I did think about going for winning at least 6 games, but just in case I miss it, I don't want the funding to get cut, because if you miss a goal, then they give you less reward the following season for each goal. So I'm going to stick with the rebuilding. And then the usual thing, the declinal gear, ticket prices in the middle. And you will notice there that we've re-signed Levi Mack. I took a look at the scouts already, and there's just no one good enough. So we're going to keep the legend that is becoming Levi Mack. So usually I wouldn't advise this early on. Obviously this is just before free agency week, so when your players are expiring. I've got Dwayne Price, wide receiver. He's only regressed to 86. So he's still my top wide receiver by a bit, and he's 33 now. So I was toying with it for ages, but I decided I'm going to re-sign him. And as some of you may know, some of you may not, I can switch him to a tight end position, and then you can get him for a cheaper deal. And then also what I do when guys get into their 30s, I offer them a 7-year deal, and I bring down the salary as low as possible, and because our GM negotiations are quite high, we can get his salary down quite nice and low. And then what I do is I backload the deal so that you get the cheapest salary for the first 3 years, and then it starts to go up after that. But because Price is already 33, I expect to retire in the next year or two. Therefore, I'll only ever have to pay him $4.63 million a year, and my cap is so low at the moment that it doesn't really affect it, but it gives me a decent receiver for a season or two. So that's why I'm keeping him. Right, staff time now. I'd looked through the DCs, and again there was no standout replacement, so I decided to take a gamble on Braden Hernandez. And we didn't know what his potential was, what his scheme was, so I figured we'd sign him for a year. We can find that out. He's better than Caldwell by a few stats, and if he ends up being a 5-star, we've hit a slam dunk. If not, we've got a better DC than we had last time for another season, and then hopefully we can get someone else next season. So worthwhile signing, just a good little cover for another year. So man blitz and 4-star, unfortunately, but still he's a good DC. Might bring in a couple of man blitz players and see how we go. And then the last staff member to be replaced was the psychologist, and we're going with Jesus Ray. What a name. Oh, quality. Otherwise known as J Ray, which also makes me laugh. So we're just going to bring in him for another year, and then see what we can get next season, where all 4 members of staff expire. So for this season's draft, I got a couple of decent picks at 5 and 6. And there's 2 guys I really want. There's Gonzalez at tight end, and there's Bird at wide receiver, both on a vertical scheme fit. So I really want them for my team, because they could be future stars who we keep on board for a long time. And so what I do when it's something like this, I look who's got the first pick and second and third, etc., and I go through them. So with Baltimore, I check their team, I check their 5 needs, and then I check their scheme fits, because sometimes a CPU team drafts a player that's a scheme fit and not necessarily a need, and so you just need to make sure they're not going to take your player. So I took a risk of the top 3 teams not picking my players, but then the Steelers looked like they might go for one of my guys, and so after checking all their scheme fits and their needs, I decided that I'm going to make a trade with the Steelers. And so I want their pick, I'll give my number 5 pick, and then I just need to fill up a little bit of value, so I'll throw in another pick, and then I'll just throw in a player that makes up just enough value so that I don't need to waste any more players or picks. And that means I get theirs, make the trade, and now I get my guy. I get Gonzalez at tight end, because that's who I was worried the Steelers were going to take. And he looks really good, A-rated. I'll take him over Bird. Boom, 85 overall. Yeah, he's a 4-star, but he's 85 overall, and hopefully he's got room to grow. And the Steelers, I don't think, going to take receiver. They took a defensive end, brilliant, and so we get Bird. And that's it, we got a tight end and wide receiver of the future. Although Bird's got 0, he can't get any better. But still, happy. Overall, we're really happy with this draft. We've got a couple of really decent rated players, and as you can see, with my 15th and 24th pick, I took a couple of defensive players on the board. Both man blitz scheme. Clark looks like he's going to be a really good player. 85 overall already. Yeah, the only issue is they're all only 4 stars, but they're all decent players. Their scheme fits, and yeah, I think it's going to be a good season. So the new strategy begins, starting by getting rid of our first draft pick, which is quite sad, Ike Russell, but he was never going to be good enough. And then we move into our new strategy, which is bringing in some veterans to increase the overall of the team. So we're bringing in a load of old boys who've got decent overalls and they're all scheme fits, some of which we might actually be able to keep for a couple of seasons, and most of which we won't ever be able to trade away again because their values will be too low. But we're replacing a lot of like key positions and just bumping up positions, like the fullback there, getting a nice jump. Got a good kicker. But our biggest acquisition, we're bringing in a new running back, Houston, who isn't a scheme fit where he is there at 82, so he'll be jumping up to an 86 for us. So we've got a great little running back, 26 years old, low contract. When we renew him, we'll renew him at a low contract again, and I'll show you how, which means you get rid of Little. Here goes a new season. So before those trades, we were the worst team in the league, and after those trades, we've bumped up to 21st in the league. And that's what we're after. So now we're one of the sort of mid-level teams in the league. Our intention is to not get a high draft pick again. So what we want to do is find a team that have now dropped to a bad overall, who had a low draft pick last season, because now we expect them at the end of this season to have a higher draft pick. And what we're going to do is trade away our first round pick, which is going to have high value, because now we intend to finish, maybe mid-level, maybe like with the 15th, 16th pick, rather than a 6th pick. So we're definitely trading that away. We found the Cleveland Browns, so we're going to gather their next 3 first round picks and a few more picks, and all we'll be doing really is giving away our first rounder and maybe another, but we'll be getting 3 first rounders and some other depth picks in the process. So this is a great trick to do as you start to challenge in the season between you being a bad team to becoming a good team. Get rid of your first rounders because their values are really high. So let's take a look at the new look Raiders. Obviously we've got our top QB, we've got a better fullback, we've now got a really good running back, our wide receiver core has improved, tight end especially has improved, and we've got a good O-line. We've got a really good mixture of veterans and youngsters now. Grant's a new rookie. Clark, middle linebacker, we moved him. We drafted him as defensive end. Now he's a middle linebacker because he actually jumped a rating. I think he's going to have a really good season. I'm hoping for defensive rookie of the year there. And then obviously our new kicker Gibson. Let's go. Let's get this season underway. First up, Kansas City Chiefs. Oh yes. Raiders pick up their first win of the season on their first game of the season, with Houston, the new young running back, getting a level up straight away. Baltimore Ravens then come to Allegiant. Oh, and they get handed the L. Another win for the Raiders. This is a fantastic start. 2-0 for the Raiders, best start yet. And got to be happy with that. Next up, the Browns, whose future we removed, and now we've beaten them as well. This could help towards giving us a high draft pick after we took them all away from the Browns. So that's pretty cool. Owner getting happy, fans are happy. Now we're up against the Eagles. Oh my god, we are 4-0 and we have smashed the Eagles. Oh, Washington's had himself a day. Houston's got involved. Gonzalez there getting a bit of training. It's good to see. We're hoping Clark can get a couple of levels this season, and maybe Gonzalez. Colts. Oh, another win. The Vegas Raiders are on fire. They can't be stopped at the moment. Lane having a good game there with 10 tackles and tackle for loss. Broncos now playing at Mile High. We have only gone to 6-0. This is unbelievable. 350 yards and 4 TDs for Daxton Washington there, franchise QB. Oh, finally. Nice level up. Chargers, I can't see us winning 7 in a row here. There it is. To crash back down to earth. But, to be honest, going into week 8, we are 6-1. This is unbelievable. Steelers. Oh, we take an L there. That's a tough loss. But, yeah, as you see, I skipped the trade deadline because there was nothing worth trading. There was no one who had a good enough win record low, so that there was good value on their draft picks. As we watch us take another loss there to Washington, that's 3 in a row. Chargers, this is going to be another loss. Yeah, they're a good team. We're not on their level yet, so I don't expect to challenge them. So after 6 wins in a row, we've now had 4 losses, and we get another win back against the Cowboys. So we're now at 7-4, and the team is playing really well this season. I'm very happy. Couple of levels up for Houston now, running back. And we take on Tampa. Another solid win. Another 300-yard game from Washington. Tell you what, Bird's looking good as a wide receiver as well. A rookie wide receiver. Even though he's not going to get any more level ups unless we up our play calling. As we take a loss to the Giants. Our rookies are playing well. Our veterans obviously wasn't a major difference as Washington gets a level up. Fantastic. This is looking really good at the moment. We've got Chiefs again, but this time it's at Arrowhead. This could be a loss. And it is as the Chiefs get their revenge after the week 1 victory for the Raiders. And so we are now sitting at 8-6. This is huge coming into the end of the season. We get a playoff spot here. Oh, we take a loss to the Bengals. They are the better team, so I didn't think we were going to win that, to be honest. But that means going into our last game. Oh, we're sitting in the last playoff spot. We have got to beat the Broncos to assure us spot in the playoffs. It is at Allegiant. And they've done it. The Vegas Raiders have made it to the playoffs. Come on. Can you believe it? Just 5 seasons and we have made it to the playoffs, the Las Vegas Raiders. Here we go, up against the Texans. I feel like the story could end pretty quickly for the Raiders. But let's see what we got. Wow. We have beaten the Texans in the first round of the playoffs. This is huge. Yeah, I'm a bit shocked there. That is amazing for the Raiders. Come on. Tell you what, a little Cinderella run here. Washington gets another level up. Bengals, oh, they smashed. Oh, actually, didn't smash us, actually. It's 48-44, wasn't it, in the season. So here we go. And they score 48 again. Oof, oof. And just 13 for the Raiders as we crash out of the playoffs. And in the end, the Bengals take the Super Bowl. And our young rookie, Austin Clark, picks up Defensive Rookie of the Year, as we'd hoped. He's had a great season. Look at that, some really good stats there. He's levelled up a couple of times. He was our number 15 pick this year. And one of our most exciting prospects behind probably Titan Gonzalez. Check out the Conference All-Star. I mean, I doubt anyone's in it, but we'll take a look anyway now. As we made the playoffs, there's a chance. And there it is. Mike Duncan, veteran cornerback. We moved him from safety and he had a cracking season. And Gibson, the new kicker, who we actually signed to a long-term deal as well. Both making the team. Well, what an exciting season that was. Gotta say, GM Luigi Del Haytero is absolutely buzzing. I'm really happy with that. Washington's had a good season. Houston's had a good season. Colton Bird's had a great rookie season, to be fair. And Terrence Gonzalez with a good rookie season. 2 1,000-yard receivers. Obviously, Houston broke 1,000 yards rushing. Clark, I feel, is going to be on most pages on the defensive stats. With tackles and... I think he made some good tackles for loss. He got interceptions, he got forced fumbles. He even got a TD. So, Clark had a fantastic season, not just for a rookie, but as one of the best defensive players. That was an amazing season. I'm really happy and excited for next season. So, see you on the next one.